I'm going to do it. All right. We are on the line now with Kevin from New York. Kevin, is this the Kevin from New York that we all know and love?
Yeah, Kevin, I think we're 3 for 3 on
Hey.
times I've been on this show. What's on your mind?
What's up?
Yeah. Hey. Hey, thanks for taking my call, you guys.
Always.
The
Almost.
subject that the subject I wanted to bring up on this call had to do with epistemology and the Bible.
Okay.
Well, before I bring up epistemology, I was definitely sure to look up the definition on what it was so I can discuss it further. And
Okay.
it really had to do with the justification, how someone goes about justifying their belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really thought about it, and in my opinion, that's not really something to pursue when trying to decide if someone is telling the truth or not. Because instead, we should look at it this way: if the person that you're talking to, whether it confirms your worldview or not, or whether or not you have one, if that person isn't encouraging you to do your own legwork, then suspicions should automatically arise. And so focus on that instead of the epistemology of it, because I tend to think that that's how life works, that no good thing comes easy, and so you have to do your own legwork. You know what
Are
I
you
mean?
saying that the field and study of how to understand truth is not useful in trying to understand truth? I guess I'm just lost in some of the vocabulary here. I'm not really following you.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, someone can go about and say every day, all day, how they go about justifying their beliefs.
Uh-huh.
But until someone takes that information and does the legwork on it, then it'll remain at a point where it has little or no value.
Trust but verify, get outside
You know what I mean?
verification. If somebody says, this is what I believe and this is why I believe it, you have to follow up by making sure that what they believe and why they believe it lines up with some amount of evidence and it can be confirmed from some other outside source. Is that kind of what we're down to?
Yes.
Okay, so give us an
But
example of how you would apply that approach to some of your claims that you've made in the past.
all right. Well, yes. I'm really going to tell you how and why people, who are theists, are constantly harping on the Bible and Jesus, for
Okay.
example. And in my opinion, it's much deeper than even what they can say. And it has to be known that when I say the Bible, it's the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Apocrypha. Because, as people say that Jesus is the Word of God and the Bible is the Word of God, it has to be either or, logically.
That doesn't make any sense, Kevin. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
No.
It
You're
has to be
saying
the
logically, and I feel like I
I'm-
understood
yeah.
each individual phrase, but as you glued them together, I couldn't
Yeah.
hold the previous one in my mind. This might be a
Yeah.
little undercooked, Kevin. Maybe
Could be.
think it through, write it down a little bit, give it another go.
Yeah, if I might, Kevin, going back to our last call, we talked about how do you determine whether a claim is worth your time? Do you want to talk? Do you want to pick up our last conversation, or do you want to go maybe think your new thoughts through and come back the next week? You don't have to talk to me, by the way. You can talk to any of our marvelous, magnificent hosts. But I rather than try to reconstruct an argument or a position for you on that, either we can pick up where we left off, or we can just send you back to your workshop to work on your thoughts.
Let's put some closure on this one for now. It's still under construction, buddy.
Okay. Well, if we want to pick up where we left off, I went through. So as you know, last time on the show that we were on together, we talked about where do you get your claims from? And then we went to sacred-text.com, and that was a fun time. But we kind of skipped over some stuff. We talked about, I asked you, how do you determine whether a claim is worth your time? And then you answered, it has to be tested, it has to be compared to other opinions, and it has to be thoroughly researched. Now, this sounds like it's where you're at right now, and I asked you, how do you determine whether something is tested? And you said you do it yourself, or you do thorough research on the person who tested it. And I asked you what your process was, and you said type in Apocrypha, but an internet search won't do it. Okay, let's talk about testing. Okay, this is where we started. Talk about testing.
Yeah.
What claims have you tested?
Well,
Pick
a lot of what you can go on. A lot of what you can go on is obviously things that have been talked about ad nauseum already, or say some source of what biblical scholars have had to say about the canonization and the Apocrypha.
That doesn't answer my question though, Kevin, sorry. That doesn't answer my question.
My testing of all this.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
My testing of all this is coming from the assumption that some of the things that have already been said were incorrect, and that they failed to convey what was the Word of God.
I'm not hearing any testing though. Where's the testing? There's an assumption.
Well,
cool. But what about testing? What does a test look like when you're doing stuff like that?
The testing is kind of proof in itself, because out of the majority of the information that I've heard out of all the debates is a leaving out of information.
The testing is the
had
proof
you
in
worked
itself.
out the end of that
about.
sentence before you started the beginning? Like I really appreciate you calling, Kevin, but you gotta work some of this out before you get on stage. I really appreciate that you're trying, but you're just not landing today.
Christy, I'm gonna give you a safe word, okay?
Sure.
And if that's all right, and the safe word is pumpkin. All right.
Sure.
If you want to tag out and you just want to move on to another call, Christy, say pumpkin at any point, even if it's in the middle of my sentence.
Okay. All right. So right now we're yellow, but
Okay.
I'll hold off on pulling that ripcord.
Any old time. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Kevin's a sport. Kevin doesn't care. Yeah, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Kevin. I honestly don't. You've called so many times, and I'm not going to go through all the calls that you've done. Dude, sometimes I've worked in the past.
Can I try to sum it up real quick? I promise
you can try. Go ahead, Kevin. Maybe I'm just not smart enough, and that's a distinct possibility. Go ahead.
This is why I'm talking about this ad nauseum. It's because there's 3 steps to this whole thing, okay? And the reason why people are harping on Jesus is because the Bible creates the paradigm of his death, burial, and resurrection, and how, in relationship to the world, the Bible was in a dead state. And then it was buried because the early church fathers failed to convey the Word of God. And after a long period of time,
Are we on to
it would
4
be
now?
returned to us in the form of the Apocrypha.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I gotta pumpkin out. Out. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you, but you can't give me 3 points, and then if I can't figure out what the 3 are, you gotta clean it up for us.
Kevin,
make some bullet points. Give us another try.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, let's break for now. All right. Go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry. Last time we had a fun conversation. This one is just one of those things. I don't get it. I'm gonna let you go. You call back another time with some
bullet points,
more focused points. Distill this down. All right.
Give us some notes. We want to hear from you.
And if you want to send us, hey, I'll tell you this. If you want to send us an outline, TV at atheist-community.org. Or if you really want to send me an outline, Johnny P at atheist-community.org. I'm happy to text with you.
Yeah,
email
Johnny
with
and I
you.
are not just hosts. We also help produce some of the other folks on the network and some of the shows. We will help you get these talking points like humming along.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can engage with them a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right.
Sincerely, use the email. Don't just call in. Do the legwork, as
Yeah.
you say, and we'll get this knocked out.
Christy and I can
hear ya.
steel man some of your stuff, and maybe we can have a more focused conversation. So how about this? You go your merry way. Happy Sunday. Stay healthy. Do some good out there in the world, and we'll talk to you another time. All right. So that was Kevin.
Mhm.
A little disappointing on this call, but I don't want to spend too much time on that.